Welcome back to our Health and Longevity channel, where we explore the hidden threats to your vitality and uncover the essential steps you need to take to protect your well being. Today, we are diving deep into a critical medical topic that every single one of us needs to understand, yet it remains largely misunderstood by the general public due to an easily confused name. We are going to explore the hidden world of a serious, life-threatening viral infection that is transmitted primarily by the wild rodents that may be nesting in your attic, your basement, your crawl spaces, or even your garden shed. This is a condition that requires your absolute attention because understanding the subtle symptoms, the critical treatment options, and the exact preventative measures is the ultimate key to managing and drastically reducing your risk of infection. Today's medical-centric topic is hantavirus, a serious viral infection transmitted primarily by rodents. And before we break down every single detail of this silent threat, my name is Dr. Becker, and I am dedicated to bringing you the most accurate, scientifically backed information to keep you safe, active, and thriving. Did you know that an everyday chore as simple as sweeping out a dusty garage, cleaning a lawnmower, or clearing old cardboard boxes from a backyard closet could permanently alter your health in a matter of days? Stop for just a moment and think about the last time you noticed a tiny gap under your baseboards or found a small mess left behind by a field mouse in your pantry. What if that minor nuisance was actually a ticking time bomb for your respiratory system and your cardiovascular health? For senior citizens especially, this is not just an abstract medical concept, it is an urgent matter of personal safety and longevity optimization. As our bodies naturally age, our immune defenses undergo subtle shifts that can make us far more vulnerable to unexpected environmental pathogens, turning what might be a mild illness in a younger person into a sudden, catastrophic health crisis for an older adult. Imagine a threat so stealthy that you cannot see it, smell it, or taste it, yet inhaling a single particle of dust could land you in the intensive care unit fighting for your very breath. This is the harsh reality of hantavirus, and by the time we finish today, you will be armed with the exact knowledge needed to bulletproof your home, recognize the early warning signs, and protect your loved ones from an invisible invader. To truly comprehend this pathogen, we must first clear up a massive piece of linguistic confusion that often misleads people when they first read transcripts or automated subtitles regarding this illness. Because we live in a digital age where everyone is incredibly used to hearing about computer software designed to protect our laptops and smartphones from digital malware, automated systems often mistakenly transcribe the name of this condition as antivirus, which is completely incorrect and terribly misleading. In the realm of biological medicine, we are actually talking about hantavirus, a specific genus of deeply aggressive viruses that attack human cells with devastating speed and lack any specific pharmaceutical cure. In humans, hantavirus can cause severe respiratory and cardiovascular illnesses that can overwhelm the body's homeostatic balance before a person even realizes they have been exposed to something hazardous. Depending on where you happen to live in the world, this virus manifests in distinct, highly dangerous clinical syndromes that target entirely different organ systems. In the Americas, the virus primarily attacks the lungs and the heart, leading to a condition known as Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome, which causes the pulmonary capillaries to rapidly leak fluid until breathing becomes an unbearable struggle. Meanwhile, across Europe and Asia, the virus takes a slightly different evolutionary path, presenting as hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, an agonizing condition that causes internal bleeding, vascular shock, and catastrophic kidney failure. No matter which strain you encounter, the fundamental biological mechanism remains the same, a microscopic invader that jumps from wild animals to humans, wreaking havoc on the structural integrity of your blood vessels. The progression of hantavirus is notoriously deceptive, often starting so mildly that most people dismiss it as a common seasonal flu, a bad cold, or a simple case of overexertion from yard work. The early symptoms usually begin with a sudden onset of fever and body chills, which serve as the first major red flags that your immune system has locked into a fierce battle against an invading force. Alongside the fluctuating fever, individuals experience profound, deep-seated muscle aches that primarily target the largest muscle groups in the human body, such as the thighs, the hips, the lower back, and occasionally radiating up into the shoulders. This widespread physical discomfort is accompanied by an overwhelming, crushing fatigue and a state of lethargy so severe that even basic tasks like getting out of bed or walking to the kitchen feel like climbing a mountain. Persistent and severe headaches frequently lock into place during these first few days, creating a throbbing cranial pressure that standard over-the-counter pain relievers do little to soothe. For a senior citizen, these early warning signs are incredibly easy to mistake for a standard bout of age-related arthritis flare-ups, chronic fatigue, or a mild seasonal virus, which is exactly why hantavirus is so dangerous. It masks itself as everyday aches and pains while quietly replicating inside your endothelial cells. If the infection is allowed to progress past these initial stages without intervention, the virus enters a secondary, highly aggressive phase where the symptoms transform from generalized discomfort into localized tissue destruction. The progressive symptoms focus heavily on respiratory failure, causing a frightening shortness of breath and a deep, persistent cough that arises because the virus has begun poking microscopic holes in the capillaries of your lungs, causing fluid to leak directly into the air sacs. Simultaneously, the gastrointestinal tract often comes under intense attack, leading to severe nausea, uncontrollable vomiting, relentless diarrhea, and sharp, cramping abdominal pain that can easily mimic food poisoning, severe gastritis, or an acute appendicitis. As the body's fluid balance shifts out of alignment and blood vessels lose their structural integrity, patients begin experiencing profound dizziness, extreme lightheadedness, and sudden fainting spells when trying to stand up or adjust their posture. This happens because the circulatory system is losing its ability to maintain adequate arterial pressure, effectively starving the brain of oxygen and signaling that the cardiovascular network is on the verge of a total systemic collapse. When hantavirus reaches its absolute peak, the severe symptoms manifest as a medical emergency of the highest order, requiring immediate life support interventions to prevent a fatal outcome. Pulmonary edema takes hold completely, turning the delicate tissue of the lungs into a fluid-logged sponge and creating a terrifying sensation of drowning from the inside out, which makes every single attempt to inhale a desperate struggle for survival. This lack of oxygenated blood, combined with widespread vascular leakage across the entire body, triggers profound hypotension, a state of critically low blood pressure that deprives vital organs of essential nourishment and forces the patient into medical shock. If this downward spiral is not halted by aggressive medical intervention in an intensive care environment, the lack of systemic oxygen and perfusion pressure inevitably culminates in widespread organ failure, where the kidneys, liver, and heart shut down sequentially. In the most severe cases, this multi-organ failure leads rapidly to death, highlighting why delaying medical attention by even a few hours can mean the difference between a successful recovery and a tragic medical outcome. To protect yourself and your household from this invisible killer, you must first comprehend exactly how it hitches a ride into our lives, a process that centers entirely around our interactions with the local rodent population. Transmission of hantavirus does not happen through typical human-to-human contact, meaning you cannot catch it from a coughing neighbor or a family member. Instead, it relies exclusively on direct or indirect exposure to the secretions of infected wild mice and rats, particularly the deer mouse in North America. The primary and most common pathway for human infection is through simple inhalation, which occurs when a person accidentally breathes in microscopic airborne dust particles that have been thoroughly contaminated with dried rodent urine, droppings, or saliva. When you sweep an old broom across a dusty garage floor, disturb a wood pile, or stir up the dust in a long-neglected attic, you are launching millions of these invisible virus-laden particles directly into the air where they can hang suspended, waiting to be drawn into the deep recesses of your lungs. Direct contact is another major hazard, occurring when you physically touch a surface, a hand tool, or an old blanket that has been contaminated with rodent excreta, and then unconsciously rub your eyes, scratch your nose, or touch your mouth, giving the virus an open doorway through your mucous membranes. While far less common, the virus can also be transmitted through direct physical trauma, entering the human bloodstream through rare rodent bites when a cornered animal lashes out in fear. Once hantavirus has successfully breached the body's internal defenses, the medical community must deploy a highly specialized intensive strategy to keep the patient alive, because our pharmaceutical toolkit for this specific pathogen remains frustratingly limited. The absolute cornerstone of managing a confirmed or suspected case is aggressive, meticulous supportive care within a hospital setting, as nearly all moderate to severe cases require immediate admission to an intensive care unit. Because the lungs are actively filling with fluid and failing to exchange gases properly, advanced oxygen therapy is implemented right away, utilizing specialized masks, high-flow nasal cannulas, or mechanical ventilators to force oxygen past the fluid barrier and keep the body's cells alive. Managing the patient's fluids becomes a delicate, high-stakes balancing act for the medical team. Doctors must administer intravenous fluids with extreme caution to maintain blood pressure and support kidney function, while simultaneously avoiding fluid overload, which would inadvertently push even more liquid into the failing lungs. When it comes to chemical interventions and medications, the current landscape of modern medicine faces a steep uphill battle against this particular group of pathogens. As of right now, there are absolutely no specific, universally approved antiviral treatments capable of directly targeting and neutralizing hantavirus once it has established itself in the human body, though global scientific research is continuously ongoing to discover a cure. Because we lack a magic bullet pill or a specific targeted injection, medical teams must focus heavily on symptom management, utilizing a carefully selected regimen of therapeutic medications to keep pain levels manageable, control spikes in body temperature, and stabilize the cardiovascular system. This stark reality underscores why early detection and prompt medical attention are so hiddenly vital. Because we cannot cure the virus directly, our only option is to support the human body through the worst of the biological storm, and getting a patient into a hospital before the severe respiratory phase begins drastically improves their statistical chances of a full recovery. Given the sheer severity of the illness and the lack of a direct pharmaceutical cure, the old adage that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure has never been more profoundly true than it is with this rodent-borne threat. True prevention requires a multi-layered defense strategy that begins with total and absolute rodent control around your living spaces, transforming your home into a fortress that wild pests cannot breach. The first step is to completely seal all potential entrances by thoroughly inspecting the interior and exterior of your home, using heavy-duty materials like steel wool, concrete, or metal flashing to block every single hole, gap, or crack that is larger than a pencil eraser, as mice can squeeze through shockingly small openings. Next, you must systematically remove all potential food sources that might attract these wild creatures inside, ensuring that all human pantry items, leftovers, and especially pet food are stored in heavy, airtight plastic, metal, or glass containers rather than flimsy cardboard boxes that can be chewed through easily. Finally, you must eliminate any potential shelter by clearing away deep clutter, piles of old newspapers, stacks of unused firewood, and dense yard debris from the immediate perimeter of your home, effectively denying rodents the hidden spaces they desperately need to build their nests and raise their young. Beyond making structural modifications to your property, you must completely revolutionize the way you clean your home and outbuildings, abandoning traditional cleaning habits that could inadvertently launch deadly viruses directly into your breathing zone. Whenever you are preparing to clean an area that has been closed up for a long time, such as a vacation cabin, a crawl space, a garden shed, or a storage unit, you must never grab a dry broom or a standard vacuum cleaner first. Instead, your very first action must be to open wide all available windows and doors to thoroughly ventilate the area with fresh moving air for at least 30 minutes before you begin working. Once the space has been aired out, you must practice meticulous wet cleaning methods, which involves thoroughly soaking any visible rodent droppings, nests, or contaminated surfaces with a powerful commercial disinfectant or a freshly mixed solution of household bleach and water. By completely drenching the area first, you ensure that the dust is physically weighted down, preventing the viral particles from becoming airborne when you eventually wipe them away with a damp paper towel. Furthermore, you should never skimp on protective gear. Always equip yourself with heavy rubber or vinyl gloves and a high-efficiency particulate mask, such as an N95 respirator, whenever you are tackling a cleanup job in an area suspected of harboring wild pests. For those who love spending time in nature, preventing exposure also means maintaining a high level of vigilance and avoiding high-risk outdoor environments where wild rodent populations naturally thrive. Outdoor precautions are absolutely essential when you are camping, hiking, or working in rural, heavily wooded, or brush-filled areas that are known to be natural habitats for wild mice and voles. You must take active steps to establish completely rodent-proof campsites by keeping your sleeping bags and tents pitched far away from visible woodpiles, thick bushes, old stone walls, or cabin foundations where small animals love to forage for food. All camp food, cooking supplies, and trash must be stored securely inside airtight, animal-resistant containers or locked inside a hard-sided vehicle at all times to prevent attracting nocturnal scavengers directly to your living quarters. By respecting the natural boundaries between human recreation and wild animal habitats, you can enjoy the great outdoors without accidentally bringing home a catastrophic viral infection. As senior citizens, taking these preventative steps seriously is one of the most profound acts of self-care and longevity optimization you can perform for yourself. It is incredibly easy to adopt the comfortable mindset that a few field mice in the garage are just a normal part of rural or suburban life, or that you have cleaned up after pests for decades without ever experiencing a day of sickness. But what if the next mouse that wanders into your home is carrying a heavy viral load of a strain that your immune system simply cannot fight off effectively? The risk profile of our bodies changes as we mature, and a single mistake during a weekend home improvement project or garage cleanout can lead to weeks in a hospital bed, long-term health complications, or worse. Protecting your health is about being proactive, recognizing that the everyday environments we interact with carry hidden elements that require respect, caution, and scientific understanding. By securing your home, changing your cleaning habits, and staying deeply aware of the signs of illness, you are taking active control of your health destiny. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today to learn about this critical health topic. And I sincerely hope this information empowers you to make safer, more informed choices around your home and your community. If you found value in this deep dive and believe it could help protect someone you care about, please do not forget to like and share this video with your friends, family, and neighbors who might be planning their spring cleaning or outdoor summer trips. Also, please make sure to subscribe to the channel right now so you can stay fully updated on all of our latest health optimization content, medical breakthroughs, and wellness strategies designed to keep you living your absolute best life. Stay safe, stay vigilant against hidden environmental pests, keep your living spaces secure, and I look forward to seeing you in our next educational video.